Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and today we're taking a break from Pokemon Fire Red. Today we're hopping into the generation of Too Much Water and seeing if we can beat Pokemon Emerald with a single Metang. Metang is that awkward in-between evolution that low-key looks like Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik, depending on when you started watching or playing that franchise. Robot, but with a stat number that would make Snoop Dogg proud. We beat the game previously with a Metagross in Emerald, and it was actually my first video ever to get over 1,000 views. Numbers that I definitely didn't think was possible at the time for a channel of my size. For Metang, the Steel typing is going to carry us far, but that added Psychic typing can actually be a little bit of an issue for us. There's plenty of Team Aqua and Magma folks that have Dark-type moves, and it's not just them. This is a generation where they used Dark types and Dark type moves a lot. Speaking of moves though, for our moves, we have a decent set of moves. I don't know why I had to say moves so many times, but we have Takedown, Psychic, Iron Defense for extra bulk, Meteor Mash. From TMs, we can actually learn a decent bit of moves, giving us a pretty wide coverage if needed. I think for the most part, our moveset will be able to carry us pretty easily through most of the game. I can see the twins being an issue, maybe Sydney and Phoebe, but beyond that, well, I guess we'll have to see. For the rival, we gave her Torchic last time, and given the fact that it has a fighting type attached to it, Psychic absolutely obliterates it as we go into the rest of the game. For the first rival fight, yeah, it goes like you'd probably think. We have only Takedown to do damage until level 20, and while it's a solid attacking move, we do get dealt recoil damage every time we use it. Now, we do win, but the main issue that we're going to find as we go through the beginning of the game is that we need to heal up a lot. We end up making multiple trips back to the Pokemon Center because money is pretty limited this early in the game, so I don't want to blow it all just yet. But we do make our way through the forest without too much trouble, just a little bit of extra time, and then it's time to fight Roxanne. Without confusion, honestly, I'm not 100% sure if this will be doable. Given the fact that we get dealt with that recoil damage off Takedown every time we use it, I can honestly see this being a little bit of a problem, but there's only one way to find out. When the fight starts, we're able to identify two immediate problems. The first one being the fact that Geodude uses Defense Curl, the second being the amount of PP that we have with a move that isn't 100% accurate. Oh, and a third problem is that Roxanne has a couple potions. We don't even end up taking down her first Geodude before we go down. So, we level up. I don't mind trying multiple times if there's a chance of winning at that level, but as far as I can tell, unless every single hit was a critical hit to avoid the defense curl boosts, we'd have no chance. At level 20, we learn both Confusion and Metal Claw, and we use Confusion on Geodude, taking it to a sliver as Rock Throw pings off of us. Roxanne heals up, and in the next turn we can take it down. After that, another Geodude comes out, and Confusion takes it to a sliver as well. Rock Tomb connects, and then Roxanne heals up again, and we take it down. Last up is her Nose Pass, and we open with Confusion, not doing a lot as it uses Harden. We swap over to Metal Claw and actually get the attack boost, taking it to yellow. The berry takes it out of healing, but due to the attack boost, we can go ahead and take it down without too much of a problem. With one badge out of the way, I'm sailing away. But before that, there is an optional May fight for us to go ahead and try. Last time we played this game, we got absolutely brickwalled by that fight, so with any luck, we won't have to worry about that this time around. May sends out Torkoal and we take it to half as it sets up Curse before going down. Next up is Mudkip and we use Confusion, taking it below half as it only uses Bide before going down. Had Bide been able to connect, probably would have been nasty, but we don't have to worry about it. Moving on. As we do the sailing, I wanted to say if you like this kind of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We are always working on those watch hours and inching ever closer to that full partner goal that we set up for ourselves. At the time of recording this, our Charmander video that we posted last week just hit a little over 1,100 views, and as of right now, we only need about 720 hours to be able to hit that full partner status, so it's pretty quickly going down, and I'm excited to see where we get. Probably by summertime, we may actually be full partner, which I'm hoping for because, just a peek behind the veil here, the biggest video that I ever had that popped off on my channel so far was a Chansey run that got well over 200 and some odd watch hours, so I'm trying to beat the clock and get to full partner before that 365-day reset happens. If you like hearing about numbers and stuff like that, definitely don't hesitate to ask. I'm more than happy to help out in the comments. I doubt you'd want a whole video on it, but maybe you do. I don't know. But feel free to ask me. I'm more than willing to help out and kind of explain what's going on. I also wanted to say, you may see slightly different members in my party for HM use than normal if you pay really close attention, and I wanted to talk about that real quick. I'm using an updated form of Pokemon Emerald called Pokemon Emerald Final that actually adds a bunch of Gen 2 and Gen 1 Pokemon into this Gen 3 game. Honestly, I wanted to see how much it changed the game, or if it would even change the opponent's Pokemon, and it didn't. But honestly, it makes HM Pokemon a lot easier to come by, so I'm gonna just use it. Anyway, we go ahead, deliver the letter to Steven, and then it's time to fight Brawly. Brawly starts off with Machop, and we open with Confusion, taking it down in one shot. Next out is Meditite, and Confusion takes it below half as it sets up Bulk Up. It does go for Focus Punch, but another Confusion takes it down. Last up is Makuhita, and we take it to a Sliver, confuse it, and it knocks itself out to win us a pretty simple battle. On the way to complete some plotline, and if you've watched these videos before, you already know, but for those that have never watched me or just seeing me cover Emerald for one of the first times, I don't cover too many of the Magma and Aqua fights. Same with Team Rocket and Gen 1. There's a lot of grunts, there's a couple admins, and they're just not very important fights. So we'll end up covering the Archie and Maxie fights for the most part, but beyond that, probably not much else. If this were a Nuzlocke, I'd probably cover a couple more, especially if I lost a party member. It's also, let me know if you want to see any solo runs in the comments below. If they're ones that can't be done, like just a Kakuna or a Metapod, then don't expect those. But beyond that, I am open to suggestions. I'm always looking for new videos to do. I actually got a recommendation on the last video that I posted of doing a Pokemon challenge, but I have to use the level up move that is provided. I don't know if I'd technically be able to use the other 3 moves, but I think that that could be a really fun challenge, so I'll probably start working on that, because I haven't done a team run since I did my Safari Zone Encounters only run. Also, just out of curiosity, because I'm feeling very chatty while I'm doing this today, out of all the different factions that you find yourself going against, which is your favorite? I think for me, Team Rocket will always be my number 1, but that could be nostalgia speaking. If I had to pick a second one, despite the fact that I wasn't a fan of Sun and Moon, it would probably be the Team Skull guys from Gen 7. If you're gonna be in a crime organization, you might as well do it with style. And with that out of the way, we go ahead and get to Maulville, show Wally that we're the only ones capable of doing a solo run around here, and then make our way through Watson's gym. Watson first starts off with Voltorb and uses Shockwave, and we use Confusion, taking it to red with a crit. Watson heals up, and we do not quite half. Shockwave does a bit more with a crit, and we take it back to red. And then Voltorb explodes, so our health isn't great. Electrike is up next, so we swap to Takedown, taking its red, getting paralyzed. Shockwave takes us to 11 HP, and then we go down. So that was admittedly a pretty bad attempt, but even the good attempts actually aren't much better. By the time that we get to the Magneton, we've been whittled down enough that it can just stall us into submission. So without much of a choice, we go around leveling up on the trainers from the various routes that are available to us. And through all that hard work and perseverance, yeah, we're still losing. Watson is a nightmare in most challenge playstyles unless you have a ground type, Marsh Stomp. So, While we did level up, you can see here the Magneton is still going to be a bit of a wall for us. So without much choice, we do continue to level a little bit. At this point, I don't think there's too much that I can do aside from just try to brute force our way through. All the way at level 38, we can take Voltorb down with a single Psychic, though I don't think the crit mattered. Next up is Electrike, and we use Psychic again, taking it down in one go. Magneton is next, and Psychic takes it to not quite half, and it uses Thunder Wave. Sonic Boom does do its guaranteed damage, and we take it to a sliver as Watson heals up. Sonic Boom continues to do solid damage, and we stay paralyzed, but it misses, and we take it below half. Shockwave connects for a bit of damage before we take it down. Manectric is his last Pokemon, and it sets up Howl as we Psychic it to yellow and lower its special. The Berry heals it well out of healing range, and the Shockwave takes us to 29 HP, as we do take it down for a still somewhat close battle. I had a feeling that we'd need Psychic for this, but even with Psychic, it was still pretty close. The Sonic Boom miss is the main thing that kept us alive. Anyway, our travel takes us to the first active volcano, and that's where we have our first big fight with Team Magma. Maxie first starts out with Mightyena, and Clear Body prevents the Intimidation drop, which will probably carry us as we go through the game. We miss our takedown as it uses Howl. Next turn, we connect, taking it to yellow and doing damage to ourselves as Bite connects, and then we take it down with Metal Claw. Camerupt is next, and we swap to Psychic, taking it to red as Magnitude connects. Maxie heals up, and we use Psychic again, taking it down. Last up is Zubat, and another Psychic takes it down to win us a pretty simple victory. Let's go ahead and head to Roxanne. Numel is first and goes down to a single Psychic. Next up is Slugma, the worst Pokemon in existence, and we land a crit to take it down in one go as well. Camerupt comes out, and Psychic takes it to yellow, and then Overheat takes us all the way down to 17 HP. We do manage to take it out, but after that, Torkoal's her last Pokemon, and we use Psychic, taking it to half as Overheat finishes us off. This takes a couple attempts, but we are able to go ahead and one-shot the first two Pokemon. With the Camerupt, though, this time, for whatever reason, it only sets up Sunny Day, so we're able to take it out without a problem. Then, when the Torkoal comes out, we actually end up critting it, so we can one-shot it to win a pretty simple battle. That's 4 gyms down, and arguably one of the harder ones that are ahead of us. Admittedly, I kind of wish that I would have kept that refresh move just to be used for the non-loafing terms of the slacking for the next battle ahead. The good news is, though, as far as I can tell, even if the slacking hits us with Facade or Revenge, it probably won't do too much damage to us, but only one way to find out, and then after that we can go ahead and kind of talk about Metang as a whole. Norman first starts off with Spinda, and we open with Psychic, taking it to red and lowering its special. It uses Otto's Irresistible Dance, or Teeter Dance, depending on your favorite franchise, confusing us, but we break past it and now one-shot it with its lowered special. Vigoroth is next, and we land a Psychic, taking it to yellow as Feint Attack pings off of us. After that, we can take it down and get a level up. The monster that is slacking is next, and it uses Feint Attack for decent damage, and we smack ourselves. It loafs, and we use Psychic, taking it to not quite half. Slacking uses Yawn, and we take it to red as the berry activates, taking it out of healing range, and then we knock it down. Last up is Lanoon, and we spend a few turns snoozing as it uses Belly Drum to set up. Slash, because of that, now does pretty decent damage, and we get taken to 6 HP, waking up, and finishing it off for a pretty narrow victory. But we do have some travel ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about Metang while we do. In comparison to the absolute monster that is Metagross, this definitely pales in comparison, which is to be expected. Some of these battles take a couple different times given the weaknesses that we have in the game, but I still think that it's doing pretty well overall. I wish that I did have access to a few more TMs, but for the most part I don't think that I'll end up needing them as we go. As we get into the higher levels and learn things like Meteor Mash, I think our lower stats won't end up affecting us too badly. For the rest of the game, I think Tate and Liza will be an issue. I can see Juan being an issue, given the fact that he has a Crawdaunt and a Kingdra. And with the Elite Four, I can see pretty much any of them being a problem as we get into those battles. But for the time being, we can focus on the here and now, and that means that it's time for us to clear out the Weather Institute, which honestly doesn't take too long, and then we can challenge May for one of the last times in the game. You can fight her one more time at the department store, and that's if you feel like it. May first starts with Lombre, and we open with Psychic, but Fake Out makes us flinch first. Then we can attack, and Psychic takes it to yellow. It uses Nature Power, barely doing much of anything, and then it goes down. Slugma is next, and we use Psychic, taking it down before it can Ember us. Marsh Stomp is next, and Psychic takes it to yellow. Mudshot does pretty solid damage, and then we can take it down. Goodbye forever, May. Well, unless I need the department store. A bit of travel and whatnot, and we are in Fortree City getting rid of the Kecleon problem and then challenging Winona. Now, Winona has an Altaria and a Skarmory that can be pretty problematic, but we gotta give it a shot. Swablu is first, and we set up Iron Defense for the Earthquakes in our future, and it uses Mirror Move, and then we Iron Defense again, and it uses Perish Song. Okay, so that's our first 3 attempts. After those attempts, we set up a couple Iron Defenses, and Swablu only hits an Aerial Ace and a Metal Claw before going down. Altaria's out, and we Metal Claw as Earthquake does a little, and we continue with Metal Claw, mostly fishing for an attack boost as it uses Dragon Dance and the berry heals it. Another Earthquake ends up critting, and that ends an actual attempt for us. A few more attempts, and it's basically about the same with no critical hits from the Altaria. We can actually end up taking it down. We don't have much HP left by this point, but we can at least try and say that this was a normal attempt. With Tropius, we take it to half as it tries to set up Solar Beam, and then we take it down. With Skarmory, we trade attacks, and it does whittle away a few HP with each Steel Wing, but we do take it down. Pelipper is last, uses Protect, we take it to red, lowering its special, so that when Winona heals up, we can actually take it down with our next attack for a very sloppy battle. Now, we can go ahead, like I said, and face May for the last time, and I'll play the footage, but there isn't much to cover that's different this time around. Maybe one day we'll get a Gen 3 remake where the rival's a bit more consistent in this generation. I'll be honest, I haven't played Alpha Sapphire or Omega Ruby since they released, so I don't actually remember that much about it. I think the main thing that I remember was being able to use Mega Evolutions to just curb stomp my way through the entirety of the game. Let's fight Maxie. Maxie first starts with Mightyena, and we use Takedown and Miss as it uses Swagger. With our now boosted attack, we hurt ourselves for a lot of damage as it uses Takedown. The next attack, we take it to a Sliver, and it finishes itself off with Takedown. Next out is Camerupt, and we use Psychic, taking it to half, and then Earthquake finishes us off. So, 1, 2, 16 tries later, we start by setting up Iron Defense. We can take down the Mightyena without too much of an issue, and then we get to Camerupt. Rather than it actually doing any kind of attack, it just keeps spamming Calm Mind so we can take it out. Because of that, even though Crobat is able to outspeed and attack us, we can take it down and just win the battle. Now that we're finally able to go ahead and move on, we have to start thinking about a battle that will be a bit of trouble. It's time to see how things go against Tate and Liza. The first turn annihilates our poor little Wooper in one shot as we set up Iron Defense and Earthquake does decent damage. We swap to Meteor Mash on the Claydol as Xatu begins setting up, and we can take it to about half, as Earthquake also takes us right to around half. Xatu continues to set up, and we Meteor Mash it to red as we get taken to red. They heal up the Claydol, and we actually crit it to one-shot it. As the Soul Rock comes out, Sunny Day is set up, and we take it down in one go. Next out is Lunatone, and it can be one-shotted as well, and we get the boost, and then after that, Xatu uses a Calm Mind boosted Psychic to take us down. Honestly, it only does take a few attempts, and it's mostly from the damage range against the Claydol. After a few times, we get the high roll on both of our attacks, so it goes down, and that doesn't give Xatu enough time to fully set up, so we're actually able to go ahead and just one-shot sweep the team. Granted, we still do get taken to red, but that's 7 badges down. We have some storyline stuff to go ahead and get done and out of the way, just saving the world, no big deal. Now though, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping up the game. We have one more gym battle to get through, and then after that we also have to get through the Elite Four. I also just realized while recording this, I forgot to record the Watson fight. Not record, but actually write that in the script, so I'm gonna have to go back and do that. Overall, I think that the Elite Four will be a lot of trouble as we get further into this game. And I mean, we gotta try that secret Stephen Stone fight. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We have one more gym battle. Juan starts with Love Disc, and we open with Meteor Mash, taking it to about half as Water Pulse connects. Another Meteor Mash takes it to a sliver, and another Water Pulse connects, and then Juan heals up. We get a crit on our next attack, and we take it down, though sadly, not a single boost in sight. Whiscash is out, and though we miss our next attack as it sets up Rain, we can do about a quarter health as it sets up Amnesia. Another Meteor Mash takes it to right below half as Earthquake takes us down below 50 HP. Another Meteor Mash takes it to red, and then it knocks us out. Yeah, that takes us a lot longer than I thought that we were going to need for this battle. The fact that we didn't grab any TMs might be an issue, but at the same time, if you look at our moves that are available, I don't think there's anything that we could have truly done to have helped other than grab Brick Break for the Crawdaunt, if I'm being honest. But I wanted to see if there's anything that you can think of. Maybe I'm just not noticing it because my sleep-addled mind is just not picking up on it. But after a bunch of levels after some levels and a lot of attempts, we do have this fight. At 65, Love Disc is first, and we open with Psychic, taking it to a sliver as Water Pulse connects. Juan heals, and then we get a high roll on the damage and take it down. Whiscash is out, and since we outspeed, we hit it with Psychic before it can set up Calm Mind, and it just uses Rain Dance before going down. Celio is next, and we continue with our Psychic Rampage, taking it below half as Water Pulse connects, then goes down. Crawdaunt is next, and we swap to Takedown, taking it to half as it uses Taunt, and then we take it down to take it down. Last up is Kingdra as we hit it with Psychic and lower its special. Water Pulse confuses us, and we smack ourselves as Kingdra sleeps, wakes up, but we just take it down with a critical hit to finally win this battle. Alrighty, now we can go through Victory Road, and I feel like we're actually moving along this game with a pretty decent rate. And now, we've played the game enough times that I can actually navigate this cave without being lost for 30 minutes. But first, let's take on Wally. Wally first starts with Altaria, and we open with Meteor Mash, and we take it to red as it sets up Safeguard. Wally does end up healing, and we take it to almost red, and then we take it down. Delcatty is up, and we swap over to Psychic and take it to red as it uses Giga Drain for pitiful damage, and then we knock it down. Magneton is next, and we swap back to Meteor Mash, and it doesn't do much, so we go back to Psychic. Another Thunderbolt connects to us, but then we can knock it out. Rosalia is up, and this is probably the easiest of his members to take down with Psychic. Last up is Gardevoir, and we swap back to Meteor Mash, take it to red as it uses Future Sight. Wally heals up, we take it to a sliver, and then we knock it out to win the battle. Step aside, Wally. We have actual opponents to face. Now, with this particular ROM, we are able to actually swap out TMs, kind of like what you can do in Gen 7. While I don't think that'll come into play too much as we fight the Elite Four, I did at the very least want to go ahead and point it out in case you see me teach Metang something and still keep the TM in my inventory. Right now, I'm just recording this particular script, so I actually don't know what the footage is going to look like as I go through. Sometimes I show my bag, sometimes I don't. But for now, let's go ahead and fight the Elite Four. Sydney is first, and Mightyena is the first of his Pokemon out. We use Meteor Mash, taking it to red, as Crunch connects for decent damage. Sydney does heal up, and we connect with our next attack, taking it to red, then swap to return to finish it off. Next out is Shiftry, and we swap back to Meteor Mash, taking it to below half as it tries to use Swagger, misses, and we take it down with return. Cacturn is next, and we go back to Meteor Mash, taking it to a sliver as Leech Seed connects, and then we can take it down. Crawdaunt comes out, and we use Meteor Mash as it sets up Swords Dance, but thankfully, our next return takes it down. Absol is his last Pokemon as we take it to below half, as the damage and Leech Seed takes us to 20 HP, but another return takes it down to win the battle. Alright, Phoebe, let's see how this goes. Dusclops is first and waste time with Protect, and we Psychic it to almost half, then set up Iron Defense. It confuses us, and then we Meteor Mash to take it down. The next Dusclops is out, and we smack ourselves as Shadow Ball connects, and we take it to about half as it continues to whittle away at us. It takes a while, and we take it down, but then the Banette takes us down right after. So, we take our time, which is weird to say, but that does actually allow us to win. It does take a few attempts, but what we do is we teach Metang Earthquake. With Dusclops, we need to be a little bit smarter with our PP usage, swapping between multiple moves, like Iron Defense, Psychic, Earthquake, basically whatever we can to make sure that we still have moves in our inventory, and then we take it down. As the next one comes out, we basically have to just do the same thing, playing smart as it whittles us down, but we do manage to take it down. When Banette comes out, we actually get a boost off of it, and then the good news is, with the boost, that's what allows us to go ahead and one-shot the rest of our team to win the battle. That'll work for me. Glacia time. Glacia sends out Celio, and we use Earthquake, taking it to almost half, and then take it down with Meteor Mash. Walrein comes out, and we Meteor Mash, taking it to red with a crit, as Surf does pretty solid damage. As it heals up, we Meteor Mash it, taking it to yellow, as Surf hits hard before we take it down. Glalie comes out, we can take it down with Meteor Mash, and getting the boost. Due to that, we're able to one-shot the Glalie, and for whatever reason, the Celio only sets up Hail, so we can take it out with 5 HP remaining. Honestly, I'm kind of happy that our levels are basically exactly where they need to be to just be able to squeak out a victory. Now, I am going to be honest, Drake goes about as poorly as you'd think, so we do end up having to do some level ups before we even get a close attempt. So what I said before, yeah, go ahead and forget that. Shelgon sometimes wastes time with Protect, so we're basically banking on that, and we use Iron Defense, and then we take it down with Meteor Mash with a few turns. Flygon is able to hit Flamethrower, and we one-shot it, and at this level, Salamence is actually a one-shot, most likely due to our Clear Body ability. Kingdra likes to waste time with Dragon Dance and healing up, but we actually take it down. And then Altaria uses Dragon Dance, takes us to 9 HP with Dragon Breath, but it is also kind enough to get knocked out. Wallace. Also, while I play a quick losing attempt to show that we absolutely get blitzed at this level, because why not? Why did they make a game with a character named Wally that follows you around and is basically slated to be one of your rivals because he follows you all the way to the Elite Four, and then afterwards make the champion named Wallace? Now, it's been a while, and I don't feel like looking it up right now because, again, mid-recording, I think that Wallace was originally the gym leader of the 8th gym and not Juan. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I may very well be wrong. Again, not going to bother looking it up right now because it is currently 10:30 at night. I am trying to record this and then go to bed and edit it because it goes up tomorrow at 3:30. Anyway, we start off with the Wailord as we ping it with Meteor Mash and get the attack boost. And then we take the Wish Cash to half as he swaps out to it, getting another attack boost. And then we can take it down with a third attack, getting another attack boost. As the Wailord comes back out, we can take it down. Then Tentacruel goes to a Sliver with Psychic. It heals up repeatedly, and then we can finally take it down, only getting hit once with Hydro Pump in that fight. Then Ludicolo is out, and we take it down, getting another boost, so then we have no problem one-shotting the Milotic. Alright, well that's the Elite Four done. Let's go ahead and see how we do against Steven, and then we'll just talk like we usually do. Now, I am running into a little bit of a time crunch, like I was saying before, so you'll have to forgive me for skipping a few losses towards the end of this video. We're just going to go ahead and see how we do at level 95. And for whatever reason, at this level, Skarmory just wants to focus on spikes as we set up iron defenses. We then swap to Meteor Mash, getting a couple attack boosts, and because of that, we take it down. And then, after the boosts, it allows us to one-shot through the rest of his team. And while I know that's not the most exciting way to end a video, it is kind of nice to see that a middle stage, not quite pseudo-legendary yet, Pokemon is able to put up a fight against someone like Steven. And he also got to take out his evolved form, and that's kind of cool too. So, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this particular run. I rarely use second stage Pokemon out of the 3-stage evolution line, but that might change. Honestly, it's going to have to. We do still have plenty of Pokemon to play with, but, I mean, there's only a finite amount of them right now. But thank you again, Ashura, for this particular recommendation. Next run is going to be Squirtle to finish up the original tree. Oh god, I'm going to have to play with Pikachu and Eevee again. I regret everything. I do have a Sableye run planned, and a Celebi and Heart Gold run planned. Honestly, I have a lot of runs planned, and I'm super excited to continue with these as we go. I really like content creation. I really like that I'm finally seeing this hard work for the past few years beginning to pay off with us getting so close to partner. If there is anything that you want to see, make sure to drop them in the comments below. I am also trying to stream a little bit more on both YouTube and Twitch. I'm actually thinking I'm going to do a 12-hour stream here within the next month or so. And then, if you want to, there's also a link to the Discord where you can hang out whenever you want. But, as always, I'm getting sleepy, so if you liked the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.